And for a sense, when we come up here, we are a character. And that's not to say we aren't who we are up here when we away from here, but we have a responsibility to be that character. You know what I mean? Not the one that's when you get off here, if you're sick, you know, you like Jordan. Again, this may be a better example. Flu game. He's sick, but he has a duty to be. He has to be Michael Jordan, and he has that duty to play. When he goes on his team, the fans, everybody's expecting to see Michael Jordan. We don't care that you had the flu. And I think that's the same responsibility we have with this. Everybody wants to see the best Miles McConaughey and the best Eddie Rocker when we're up here on the stage. And we can't say if somebody views us and sees us through these phones or through our audio media, and they say, and we say something or do something wrong or not our best self, we don't have the authority to be like, well, you know, I wasn't feeling well, or they got to take us for what we said. And now when they chop the clip up and put it out, you get what I'm saying? So we have a responsibility. And I think that keeps, for myself, that's one of the big things. I owe it to you all to come up here and be my best self. I owe it to you all to be prepared. And I definitely owe it to the people that's watching. So that's one of my big things. And I think that's the same thing when it goes back to you that's watching. You got to always know when you're a part of something, when you're doing something, you got to make it bigger than you. Because if you're doing something and you're the source of it and it's all about you, it's only so far you can go with that. Because it's going to be, when you get unmotivated and when you get sick, it stops. So you got to have something that you know is bigger than you, that it carries out, that even if you are sick, there's a world of people that are counting on you to hear your voice to get through to the next day. And I think what we're building, where we want to go, that's exactly what we'll be doing here. So. Welcome, world. Welcome, family, to another episode of the EL2A Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. To right of me, we got Mr. Military Man, Mr. Miles McConaughey. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good right now.
I love you. To the right of him.
Oh, sorry. The ladies at one of the schools, I said his name, and she was like, oh, that's how you pronounce his name? So they started making a song out of me.
Bro, I'm sorry. They tried to
I can only imagine how they tried to say it out.
Well, to the right of him, we got the Rocket, the highest seven hills, Mr. E. Rock. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm all right, man. I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you. I didn't think y'all were going to ask, man. I'm feeling great today. As y'all can see, look what we got here, man. This is our year anniversary, 52nd episode, man. Hey, clap it up for us. Put the clapping in there. Hey. Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's go. It's been a long time coming, man. Through the ups, through the downs, we still here. Come on,
I ain't got my excited things right now.
They want to be lame. But anyway, we still here. You're still here. So we appreciate y'all for being here, man. This is the 52nd episode. Man, it takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of persistence, perseverance, and all those different things to get to this point. We appreciate you for being here. I think back into when me and Eddie first started doing the podcast, we were at our church. We would literally hang up a T-shirt with the cut different logo on the background. And I mean, I think we had in-depth conversations. We had some great conversations. You can go on YouTube and find those as well. But they're there to see. But to be where we're at right now, it takes a team. So I definitely want to shout out the people in the background. We got Mr. Javier in the background. We got Rory Card in the background. KJ in the background too. But, you know, it takes a team to make these things happen. So I appreciate it for being here. But what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the journey. Because what I get asked a lot too, I get a lot of people to ask me like, man, tell me about your podcast. How do y'all do it? So I guess on y'all side of the screen, it looks, well, I ain't gonna say it's easy, but it may be look a little harder than what it is to really make this happen. I mean, there are some things you have to have in line to make it happen, and it takes time to get here. But I kind of want to give you the game on that today. We're gonna talk about our favorite episodes, and we're just gonna get into a lot. But first thing I'm gonna do, like, subscribe, and comment. All right, I know y'all already here's a year anniversary, so make sure you like and subscribe. If you could do anything for us, this is like our birthday. If you could do anything for the EL2A birthday, it just turned 1 year old today. Can you like, subscribe, and comment? Well, like, subscribe, and you can comment later, but do that first, all right? What I'm going to do, Mr. Miles McConaughey, we year in, brother. How you feeling? How you feel about us being a year, thinking about back to 52 weeks ago we started this podcast, and thinking of now, just how I feel?
Well, it went by fast,
yes, sir.
For one. But obviously that's because we have so much going on, you know, outside of being up here on this platform, on the stage. We do a lot in the community, within the organization itself. So, you know, it's been a journey. Sometimes I have to really, with deep intent, like go back over some of the episodes or some of the things, because it can become like a blur almost. But like I was telling Harvey before we came here, it's just a testament to consistency.
I love it. Consistent. That's something I want to definitely touch on at the end. Because when you're consistent, like you said, you get lost in the sauce is what's coming to mind, but not in a bad thing, in a good way. Like you say, you start stacking days, and you put one foot in front of the other, and then you get here, you look up, and now you're at a milestone. You get what I'm saying? And that's the importance of being consistent. But I want to ask you too, the Rocket, how you feel, man? When you think of the year, what you, because you were there at the beginning when we first started, just me and you, just in front of it in the blurry screen, but we were still making in-car rides.
I'm about to say that was what I was laughing about. On the way down to Orlando, we did the I guess it was Kissimmee, but doing the one in the car, the phone put up on the dog, what's the thing?
Tripod, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever. But we did a podcast in the car, bro. It was crazy. That one, I mean, audio was terrible, but we still made it happen. But I mean, it's a good feeling, because it's something that we really wanted to do. We found there is value in it, especially when you have those that were, giving feedback. Man, we seen your video, we seen your podcast. So they were engaged about whatever the topic of conversation was. And I mean, just knowing that, like you said, as we grew and so many different parts started growing to the organization, it was like we wanted, I remember you said, like, we're going to stop for a while until we're able to be consistent when we do it. Like, we're going to make sure when we do it the next time, we're going to do it. And that's one thing that I mean, it's a testament to us hitting the year, because I do remember that. But just to see where we were then and then, where we are now, the conversations, the different people that was on the stage, man, you can't, I don't see nothing. I can't, think of a better way to celebrate by, being able to reminisce over this past year. And then it's funny because I think back to ETA and what Secret to Success podcast. Mm-hmm. And when you sit and you listen to I remember going back to day one of their first podcast and listening to from the beginning up until where they are now, and to hear the growth from their conversations, but also the growth within their organization and their business. So, when I tie the two together, it's like, okay, infant stages for EL2A, and within Cut Different as well. But the growth that's gonna happen, like, it's through the roof.
The trajectory, and I like it. And even thinking back, I try to think about the lessons learned. You just made a great point, man. You think about it, we've had from city council to business owners to help me out. Who else we gonna add up there? Oh, Mr. Whitfield, leaders. But just think about it. We've had so many guests. News, Jennifer Murdy. Like we've had so many
the boys.
People. The boys, our boys, yeah. So the podcasts have been excellent. If you haven't, you may be tuning in right now, man. Go back. We had so many great episodes, and they gave great game, great details, and that's kind of what I want to get into now. In the next segment, I want to talk about, what do you feel you learned? If you can remember one key thing that you learned in this podcast, who did it come from, and what was it? One thing in this twofold, because you can even say something you learned just from doing the podcast, or you could take something from a person. And I'm gonna give both. So when it comes to something I just learned from being up here, the origins of building this was to be able to control our narrative. It's to be able to get in front of a platform and be able to speak our truth to the world. Again, we have a perspective, we have a voice, and we created a platform where we can push our voice out. The people that listen to us, now they got a piece of who we are. I think the world needs that. I think there's so many people out there talking, and sometimes the voices that need to be heard get washed away. And there need to be more positive, especially from a male's perspective, especially from a black male's perspective. And we have to put those things out. So when you think about what's been learned, I've been able to learn, me personally, I think I've been able to get more efficient out of questions, I guess. At the beginning, it was kind of hard when trying what to ask, when to ask. I think we definitely got better at, our synergy as far as when somebody interjects and things like that. Because at the beginning, nobody talked but me. Then we got better at that. But now we're to the point to where we know who's coming, and we know who may get the best out of the person. And I feel the energy has been better. So when you're talking about what we've learned, I think I've learned to be better in, I guess, my seat. That's one thing I've learned. I'll go back. I don't want to get too deep into it. Another thing, the episode with Rashad sticks out to me so much because his humility in that episode. And when he, because at the end of the day, who he is, what he's done, he has a right, for one. and he could, if he wanted to, boast and beat his chest. But we were asking him things about who has the best barbecue. He said, I would never say I have the best barbecue because I ain't tasted everybody's barbecue. Just things along like that. And it was, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I know it just came down to his humility. And that was something just in a learning moment, but also just one of my aha moments. Like, I feel like I'm a very humble person, but hearing him just say it, it humbled me even more. Because even when it comes to us and what we do, you want to, in a sense, be like, okay, yeah, look, not in a cocky way, but yeah, we are who we are, but more so just like, there's other people doing great stuff too. And not that I never, but that episode made me look at it even more. So those are two things I want to pinpoint. What do you guys think when it comes to, again, being what you learn, and it could be something just by being up here, what you learned, or what you learned from a guest that we had?
I'll say I have two that I learned something from. I mean, every last person that we've had up here, I've learned either something about them or something that they're doing. So every podcast, I've learned something about someone. But I would say the two people that stuck out the most was Jim Murdy from the Gazette, and just about how she goes about constructing her business, and the effort that she applies to her journalism, which is it's a crucial piece to society, communication, media, getting the truth out there and not being afraid to really pull at threads that people don't want you to pull. So I definitely applaud that type of tenacity and learn that about her and her operation, her team, and what they do. So that was cool to see. And then I'll piggyback on what you were saying about Rashad. I would say the Big Leagues episode more so gave greater enlightenment to who he is as an individual. And the reason why, that episode sticks out to me as well is because something I'm very big on, which is marriage, he talked extensively about during that episode and really gave power to the institution of being married because a lot of people kind of shy away from that, or they don't really go into detail. But to have a black man, successful businessman, sit up here and say, look, all that I have for the most part, that came from my union with my spouse. And that's to me, that's big, and that message definitely needs to be put out there more. And I even said it during that episode before we had wrapped up. So those are my two.
Yeah. What about you, Rocket?
So, man, it's a good question. You learn, or I've learned, learning how to deal with your trials, and like you said, everybody deal with. So so I do this through the entire year with everybody that came on stage. Everybody dealt with something, regardless of what it was. But with everybody, with through what they had to deal with, they found a way to get over it. So they talked about being self-motivated. They talked about having a strong faith, being strong, having a strong faith in whoever it is that you believe in, God. But then they talked about being able to withstand the storm, we always talked about mental health. When Sean was on stage, like that episode was crazy to hear what he's been through, the storms, the trials, all that, and then to where he is today, and being mentally strong in it. And then so all those different facets of people being on the stage week after week, it may seem like we gave out the same, or to some it may seem like, okay, well, it's the same thing over and over, but every story was different in a way. But it taught a lesson that for those that's on the other side of the camera, if they really listen to it, it's not that we didn't do anything. It's not that we just these super people, to your point. We not nobody special. We just got a piece of everything that they said. We've been able to find a way to get to deal with whatever it is in life that comes our way. We found a way to be self-motivated. We found a way to be consistent. And even just watching the podcast, if you watch 52, if you watch all the episodes and then you go back and try to equate that to your life, I'm sure somehow you can be successful at whatever it is that you do. So I just learned, I'm not even gonna say I learned that, because that's what we teach the boys. But again, I see, like, bro, we have the capability to be as successful as we want to. Mm-hmm. What's the young lady from State Farm? Even Angie, when she was on stage, That was just crazy to hear her story. And it's just like, even though we don't look the same, she's a female, I'm a male. We do not look the same, but our stories is still similar. So when somebody say, "Well, man, I can't achieve this because of how I look," bro, look, there was somebody completely different that had the same story. She still was successful. So again, in a nutshell, in a year, within all the episodes we had, bro, you're able to see that is really your, like, you get out of your own way, and then they get out of your own way. And I think that's big because we teach that to the boys on a day-to-day basis. So being able to see different people on stage show or tell stories of the same thing that we tell the boys, man, that's big.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing even to hear, because now y'all keep mentioning names, as in it's just like, dang, we had them too. And you just think about the catalog that we have built to this point. You just think about the names that we've been able to say, and even thinking about going forward. Each podcast, even though we have different people in different fields, we have a core. I don't know if y'all notice this, but I talk about this with Aaron a lot because obviously he edits and we talk. But we have a core of sectors, or sectors or which categories in the sense of what we are in. And I would like to think, if y'all had to think about pinpoint, if you go through all our podcast episodes and somebody was tasked with the job of picking 3 categories or what we mostly talk about, what do y'all think those would be?
Like categories, like topics, or just the
I'm
the
trying
type
to
of the
say it
people?
without saying it, not the people, but like what we talk about on each episode. Like what area do we touch on most episodes?
I gotta say, entrepreneurship is one.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, you asked okay. I would say youth engagement, or mentorship, whichever side of the coin you want to use with that, and then
politicians, but not. I'm saying politicians, but what's a
Politics.
Politics.
I'm gonna say that's cheating though, because the reason why, because politics deal with every area, so it's umbrella. So I was thinking about using that, but I was like, that's
education.
there you go.
Education.
Resiliency.
It is. So, and I help y'all out. So what you said is correct. Resiliency goes up on the umbrella of what I'm about to say. Leadership. Leadership is one thing we touch on. So that's all the things we talk about can fit under there. Politics was one, but that's like I said, we always, each one of we may touch it. We really, it's in our playing area. It's not one of the mains, but you did say education, and he did touch on another one. We talking about mentorship and community. You get what I'm saying? So every episode we have, but that's important because that lets us know no matter who comes, we are who we are. You get what I'm saying? And people, they're gearing their conversations to who we are, and that's a beautiful thing. So, and that's not to say that we are one-trick ponies or something like that, but we just are who we are, and our conversations go to that. So that was something when he told me that, I was like, dang, he set me down. He was like, man, I'm telling you, each one of you podcasts, everyone you have we have athletes. We have from an athlete to Jennifer Murray, we having the same conversation. So I think that was really good. And another thing I want to talk about is power consistency. As I stated earlier, a lot of people always ask, how do you guys do this? And so they don't understand that we've built this system into our daily schedule in a sense. So this is why we're able to effectively do this, because now this is a built-in time in our schedule where we all are going to be here. When me and Eddie first started this, he was in Tallahassee. We used to have to be like, bro, when the next, it was hard. He used to have to drive down for us to shoot a podcast. It just didn't make sense. That's why we stopped until we were able to get to this point now. So when you think about the power of consistency, that consistency allows us to get to exactly what you just said. It doesn't seem like it. So how can people be more consistent? Like, what do you need to do to be able to set you up in a path to be consistent? So our viewers, even if it's not a podcast, this is whatever they want to do to be more consistent. What are some things they need to do to be able to get to that point?
Accountability. Oh, I mean, and just, I guess, to go deeper into that, and I'm going to give one, I guess, if we could bounce off, that's cool. But so I said accountability, and it's funny because until we go back to the gym, talking about going to the gym, and when I say, I can turn it off, bro, it's so crazy. The last 2 days has been Monday for sure. So the alarm will go off, and I'm like, nah, I ain't going today. I literally sit up in bed and I tell myself, I'm not going today. But then I remember, because I like to be in the gym at 4, like I shared off air. But then I look and I think to myself, I'm like, well, today the gym not going to open up till 5. there's no excuse not to go, even though it's 4:14. You know what I'm saying? So also knowing like, okay, if I see y'all, somebody goes, bro, you been in the gym, or we're gonna talk about the gym in some format. So just being able to be accountability will help you be consistent when you got other people that's gonna hold you accountable.
Yeah. So yeah, like you were saying, having those accountability partners, a piece of that to like give an example on how to apply it is like one of our mentees, we came up with a personal mantra for him to recite to himself. So every day when he goes to get off the bus, he has to recite it to himself. And so it's building up that repetition to say, hey, look, when I'm getting off this bus, that's literally me transitioning to business mode. It's about business now. I'm at school. I'm not on the way to school. I'm not home. I'm not anywhere else. It's building that mentality that when you arrive somewhere and it's time to work, it's time to work. So that's how you can build up that consistency, and even that self accountability by giving yourself something, a reminder every single day to be like, look, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm, this is my mission at this moment. And even little tricks, that I talked to him this year about when you go to walk through a door. A doorway is symbolic in a lot of literature and things like that. It's you walking from one plane to another. So same concept here. It's like when you get ready to walk through that door to go in that classroom from walking in the hallway laughing and joking, that's fine. But when you go to walk through that door again, put it back on. Like it's time. It's go time. Yeah. It's go time. So anyone dealing with consistency issues or what have you, find something that's going to remind you each and every day. I don't care if you have to write it and hang it on a poster board, inside your door that you read before you go to walk out the door. Someone was telling me something about how growing up in their home, their dad had a religious fixture on the table before going outside, and every day before he left the house, he would stop there and pray. Whoever said that, I can't remember. Someone came on here and said it in this environment, KD environment. But that is like that type of stuff can really help you in the long run, especially if you know that you're struggling with something. You have to start somewhere. You're not just gonna wake up one day and hitting everything, perfect, especially if you have issues with being consistent with something. Start small, start slow, pick something that's going to keep your mind fixed or focused on what it is that you're trying to become consistent with or on. So even like you with getting a partner, writing something down, reciting something to yourself, whatever helps you, then do that.
Yeah. And I said this earlier, but before the podcast started, but I think getting started. I think a lot of people, they dismiss the power in getting started. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, when you're thinking about somebody that wants to do something, they don't even give themselves the chance to get started, to even get within it. So I think that's the first thing you should do. Whatever that thing is, get started. Make sure you got the right steps in place or things that need to help you, but just get started. But within getting started, you have to put the odds in your favor. You have to stack them. And I'm going to explain what I mean, but stack the odds in your favor that it's hard for you not to succeed or for you not to be able to stay consistent. When I say that, I mean having a team. Once we built this structure, we had a team, we had a studio, we have somebody to come shoot the production. It's kind of hard to fail in this scenario because we built the schedule. I mean, everything around this to be able to make this thing succeed. For you may not have the funds, you may not have the whatever it is to do the things that I just said, but within where you're at, build something around you that you can't fail. It doesn't take much. A podcast, it doesn't have to be all this. A podcast is literally you sitting in front of your phone, talking about a topic and giving game. That's a podcast. Put it out. The people aren't listening for it to look cool. Yeah, that helps. But they want to hear the importance of who you're talking about. If LeBron James got on his phone right now, in his bathroom, using the bathroom, and start talking and said that was a podcast, how many views you think that podcast will have? Because it's about the person who's giving the message. And for whoever you are, and again, I'm talking about podcasts, we could be, your commitment could be somewhere else, but just stay with me. If whatever you're committed to, if you just do it, and do it at a high level, the people are going to come. It don't matter how it looks. And that's where even now I want us to go. We're not nowhere near where I would like us to be, but we're staying committed for the long run. We're building a family. We're building a fan base of people that want to hear this information. But that stems from, okay, getting started. That stems from building a system around there so where it's hard to fail. And now we're just in the thing where we're stacking days to get to a point to where we look up and we got a ring full of live audience that care about the energy and the effort and the voice that we give. So that's what I say. So making sure that you get started. So you had accountability. You had, what was your point?
Piggybacking off him, be just how to apply it, how to get started with that, setting up little roadmaps for yourself.
Yeah. And so within that, so we touched the staying consistent, and now I want to touch on the being motivated. So when you think about being motivated, so the challenges, you get what I'm saying? So if you think about it, so 52 weeks, we just came here for 52 weeks and we gave the podcast. So that means a year. During a year, something went on in your household, something went on in your household, something happened in my life to where we may want to be up here that day. It was too much going on, maybe something else you'd rather be at. But through it all, we all came and sat down in this chair. So there was a level of commitment in that, but also there was a level of overachieving, or not overachieving, but over something. Getting over the hump. You get what I'm saying? But most people don't know how to do that. That's the hard part. When I could look for, I'm about to do that for a year straight. I'm about to do that for 2 years straight. And I mean, I got to show up every day. So what do you think? How do you guys handle that? When them days that you didn't want to come in here and you still came and you brought the energy or whatever is needed to make this thing go. Because somebody go look back through our episodes, it make it look like we perfect humans, that nothing went wrong and we don't deal with nothing. Mm-hmm. What do you guys do to overcome the challenges that may come when we have to still come up here and be who we are?
I guess, like you said, that's being consistent. Because now you're doing it, like you said, you building a schedule. I think you did touch on having a schedule too. When you have a schedule, or you said a team, so a team and the people in place, similar to having a schedule. So you know what you already gotta accomplish, regardless of whatever may come to you that day. Like you said, being self-motivated. If there is a challenge within the household or at the job or whatever the case may be, then you should know that your team, the people around you, should be able to continue on the game or to continue on whatever it is, achieving whatever that goal is, because you're surrounded around the right people. Mm-hmm. So when you're being motivated, you don't want to let nobody down. So I guess that's no matter what came up in the back of my head, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to miss because everybody else is going to be there. To your point, 52 episodes, pretty sure you could go back to 2-3 episodes when I wasn't here, but to still know that it still went on even in my absence is like that for me personally, man, I remember it was I'm laughing because it's podcast, sleep on the couch. Which one am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So I had to make that tough decision, but I had to go make sure I wasn't sleeping on the couch, needless to say. However, that's what it has gotten to, where, okay, on this day, this is what has to be done. But being motivated to be there to say I'm there doing the job with the rest of the team.
What's up, bro, man?
Discipline. I say that often. Discipline is what is the glue to consistency. You can't have consistency without a level or respect for discipline. It just doesn't work. They have to go hand in hand. And that discipline, just even in the general sense, that's just what's always been the driving force. Because motivation is always good to have. But oftentimes, just like any other emotion or feeling, it's fleeting. It comes and goes. You have moments where you feel super motivated to do something, and then with life hitting, you may not. But discipline is what's going to carry you through no matter what, and it's going to carry you through with a certain level of effort that's applied, that's not just, cutting by, or you're still putting forth a great effort, but that discipline is what's going to push you through no matter what's going on around you.
Yeah. All those are good. And I think about the knowing that's bigger than you. I think when we have a responsibility, when it comes to the EL2A podcast, we have a responsibility first to ourselves, to the team, and also to the audience. It makes me think about, I've been watching episode. I don't know if some of y'all cool. Y'all should watch with the Shannon Sharp and Marlon Wayans, and it's a lot of gems he dropped in there. But one thing that sticks out is when you see these actors like and they're doing their characters. And for a sense, when we come up here, we are a character. And that's not to say we aren't who we are up here when we away from here, but we have a responsibility to be that character. You know what I mean? Not the one that's when you get off here, if you're sick, you know, you like Jordan. Again, this may be a better example. Flu game. He's sick, but he has a duty to be. He has to be Michael Jordan, and he has that duty to play. When he goes on his team, the fans, everybody's expecting to see Michael Jordan. We don't care that you had the flu. And I think that's the same responsibility we have with this. Everybody wants to see the best Miles McConaughey and the best Eddie Rocker when we're up here on the stage. And we can't say if somebody views us and sees us through these phones or through our audio media, and they say, and we say something or do something wrong or not our best self, we don't have the authority to be like, well, you know, I wasn't feeling well, or they got to take us for what we said. And now when they chop the clip up and put it out, you get what I'm saying? So we have a responsibility. And I think that keeps, for myself, that's one of the big things. I owe it to you all to come up here and be my best self. I owe it to you all to be prepared. And I definitely owe it to the people that's watching. So that's one of my big things. And I think that's the same thing when it goes back to you that's watching. You got to always know when you're a part of something, when you're doing something, you got to make it bigger than you. Because if you're doing something and you're the source of it and it's all about you, it's only so far you can go with that. Because it's going to be, when you get unmotivated and when you get sick, it stops. So you got to have something that you know is bigger than you, that it carries out, that even if you are sick, there's a world of people that are counting on you to hear your voice to get through to the next day. And I think what we're building, where we want to go, that's exactly what we'll be doing here. So now it's y'all turn, audience. The people that's watching, now is your turn. What we want to do, I want to get you engaged. So you've been watching this, but I want to hear from you. In these comments, I need you to drop down and tell me what's been your favorite episode, what you learned. What's your biggest takeaway from watching the podcast? Give me something in the episode. And we're really going to read these comments. We're going to come back and we're going to talk with you because we're going to also, in the comment section, we're going to put some stuff in. And when we start seeing you coming, we're going to give our feedback. We're going to start asking you, who else do you want to have up here? What else would you want to see us talk about? Because, again, this is for you. We do these podcasts for you because we want to give the best experience to our fan base, to our viewers and our family. I don't even like to say fan bases. We're a family. Get the base feedback and information that we can give y'all to be successful. So that's something I definitely want to do. So make sure you're dropping that in the comment right now. All right. And what I want to do as we, get ready to wrap up, man, we can't go anywhere before we start setting goals. All right. So we're at year 1. And that's another cool thing, man. These milestones, it's not nothing that we sat down and said, well, year 1, we can't wait. We just so happen to be here. And little devil said, oh, year 1, let's get some balloons. But that's a cool thing. Oh, before we go, KJ. Come help me out real quick. Come up here and grab this bag right here. I forgot all about it, man. I got some gifts for everybody. That gray bag. Yeah, man, I got some gifts for everybody, y'all. My bad. I forgot. We're supposed to do this early, but we'll do it now. Come on, man. Everybody got a gift, man. Y'all boys, go ahead. Pass that down. Come on, fellas. I got one for you too, Rory. You and Hardy. Okay? That ain't it. We're gonna do it up. We're gonna grab you one. Whatever your favorite color, we can don't blow it. We'll blow it at the end. We're gonna have a party here. It's a celebration. All right. Here you go, Brother Miles. After some green. There you go. All of them yours too. It's perfect. That's all you. Rockster. These all you right there. Pass them down. That's all you. Yes, sir. I forgot, man. We're supposed to do this early. Hey, Rory over there. Better late than never.
Get them. And Rory got to be on camera.
Better late than never, man. Yeah, I got you a hat too, Rory. Laugh that. Put that hat on. All right. But now, like I was saying, so now what we got to do, we got to set a vision for the future. We got to cast our vision to where we're going. Year 1 has been great. But I want you guys to let's be able to set something that we can see coming to which be able to see come true, and we can be able to be a testament to others that what happens when you're able to see a vision and you're able to work hard to be dedicated and what's to come. So I can start. I want us to have I don't know why I want to say celebrity, but I want to say like in the politician world, if it's the governor, I want to have us like a big name, like a representative, a senator, or something like that. I want to take it to the next level. Yeah, we've been local, but in that world, I want to be able to get somebody, you know, in the higher ranks within politics. That's one thing. And two, I do want to do in the sense of celebrity. And celebrity may be different to everybody, but I want to be able to get if it's we had some athletes, but y'all know what I mean, like somebody that has influence, that with our conversation that we can change narrative. If it's for the youth, if it's for the older people, and I would like to do that. And I think I probably should be more specific, but I don't know a name. But I just know, and I'll find somebody more specific maybe as we go around. But those are two that come to my mind. So again, a higher ranked person in politics. In a celebrity figure, a iconic figure. I should say that. What about y'all? What y'all think?
I like those two. Especially like I guess you say celebrity figure. Mr. Eric Thomas or Jamal King or what's I'm about to CJ Quinney, man. If y'all hearing this, we want y'all on this stage. And for those that don't know, they are ETA and Associates, but Secret to Success is their podcast that fueled me back when it was 2018 when I sent it to you the first time I sent you.
Yeah.
So 2018. Yeah, well, because I got the talent in 17, but 2018 I started listening to their podcast, and I sent it over to bruh and just been on them since then every week. But definitely having one of them on there, that I think that'll be big. But also it was crazy. I was at the gym and I was like, dang, what if we able to have like not a leadership conference, but something in that facet where we have a conference being able to empower. I mean, we could start right here within our community. I don't know where we would have it at, but be able to have a conference where I guess it'd be a live podcast, but a conference that entails that podcast, but being able just to be, you know, give game right there with everybody within the community. I think that'll be big, especially, you know, with all the different community aspects of what we reach, you know, veterans and all, like, bro, just have everybody there empowering the community, bro. Marion County in itself, Ocala, Florida, but Marion County, I think that'll be dope.
You just gave me, and we definitely can do that. I always say I want to do a conference, so we definitely can do that now. But when you say ET, I did open it up because there's something going on right now when it comes in the financial literacy world and just the education world, even with social media. So, like you say, the Eric Thomases of the world, the Inky Johnsons of the world, Wall Street Trapper, EYL. Who else you got? It's a couple cats up there in Atlanta that's doing their thing. So when I go to celebrity, that's what I want. So I find the person. Thank you for helping me out. But somebody in that spirit, in that financial literacy spirit, a personal development. There's a lot of people that's doing great things. I would love to have somebody like that. So to you, Brother Miles, what you thinking?
You know, there's a few people I would like to pick their brain and just kind of have an in-depth talk with. The rapper Killer Mike, with the things he does in the community, especially up there in Atlanta, the way that he's able to balance being a celebrity, but also a man of the city, man of the people, and not being, you know, apologetic with the conversations that he have.
Mm-hmm.
Local, I would say Aaron Jackson, if you listening, definitely you're an Olympian, you're a local hero. Definitely would love to have you up here and tell your story. I say Dr. Umar Johnson. Come on.
He's trying to go viral.
Yeah.
He's trying to go viral.
All jokes aside, I would love to have a conversation with him. I know he's a controversial figure, but I will say when you strip away the character part of Dr. Umar Johnson, he brings up some very salient points when it comes down to our culture, when it comes down to politics and different things. I may not agree with everything he says, but a bulk of the things I see where it's coming from. And I think that's always good when it comes down to the dynamic of a conversation where you can see where you have points of intersection of beliefs and ideology, but they're different enough to where we can push back on some things. So that would be my top three.
Yeah.
My top.
I like it. And that Aaron Jackson, we can make that one happen too. We need to put out fillers. I don't even know if she is. I'm pretty sure she's probably not here, but I'm pretty sure she comes in and out. So we got to put out a filler for that. So Aaron, like you say, Aaron Jackson, I know you may be a little closer than Killer Mike now. So Aaron, come on, pull up on us. Killer Mike, we definitely want you and Dr. Umar, so that'll be cool. But great things, man. But as we wrapping up, man, what should we if anything? Well, let's talk about this, because I think this is really cool. So you see what we're doing. We got the stuff on, did all this. The key significance is celebrating milestones, celebrate small wins. You have to be able to be excited, create excitement within the journey. We understand this is not the end goal. We're not in the end zone. We're not in a touchdown, but we just got a first down. You get what I'm saying? We get to go further. And I think that's the key with the people that's watching. You got to be able to celebrate your small wins. Don't be scared to be happy for yourself. So many people get so stuck into the day-to-day, the rut, the grind of what you're doing, and you get burnt out because you don't just stop to take a pause and be like, hey, I made it here. I made it to a year anniversary. That's cool. Obviously, we understand we want to go further, but this is a milestone. I'm pretty sure if we look up the statistics right now, how many people make it to a year within a podcast, that they're slim to none. And we've been able to do it. We've been able to create a structure that got us here. So this is worth being celebrated. So you at home, within whatever you're doing, within parenting, within work, within if you're in school education, create those small wins that you can be able to celebrate yourself because you deserve it. All right. So I definitely want to talk about small wins. I don't know if there's anything else y'all want to pinpoint before we get up out of here when we're talking about this year celebration.
I got one. Like, for anybody can go back and tell me the date when I passed the real estate exam. I got $20.
And the boy said, okay, boy, Courtney brought that 20 for the read?
Nah, it was in my pocket. I thought about it. So I got $20 for you. But I think that's we want to get everybody feedback, like you say, to see, tell us y'all favorite episodes, because we do hear different people. It's funny, dog. I really be in. They be like, we be in the conversation like, I like the podcast. I'm like, oh, you listen to the podcast, but it's not in a crazy way, but it's like people really do listen.
Somebody just said it today.
They really listen to us, bro. Which is and not that it's bad, but I think and when you hear the insight that they able to give or the value that they take from the podcast, then it's like, okay, I understand, and that helps build that momentum and that consistency. Okay, I need to get back on the stage again.
Yeah.
So,
how about your Mile?
May 20th when you passed.
Oh,
bro, you don't count.
But I don't even know. I just threw a date out. I think it was close. But
let's say the state exam. That's when the class. You right about the class.
Oh, see, I just threw something out though, man.
Don't say May 20. You're not winning the 20.
But no, I will add to what Jamie said about not being afraid to celebrate. Reason why, because especially nowadays in this day and age, people, I get it. It's there's a lot of insecurities out there and things like that, but you just always got to keep in mind and remind yourself, not be afraid to give praise when you're being blessed, because I guarantee most people do not hesitate to complain when things going bad. So you want to make sure that you're putting that positivity out there, that you're being thankful for every win, small, big, what have you. It's a win. So definitely cherish those wins. Cherish them.
Cherish those wins, man. Hey, that's it. Year anniversary, man. Long time coming. I appreciate you for being here. So at the end of the day, there isn't no podcast if we don't have any viewers. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, don't matter who views this episode, we are greatly appreciated, man. This work that we've done on this stage, just to be able to provide game back to you all. We understand that there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of things that you could be listening to, but you're tuned into this educational podcast. And I'm gonna tell you something. Most people gravitate to foolishness, gravitate to something that's just going to entertain them because it's easy. When you get entertained, all you're there is for kicks and giggles. You're just there to be there, and you get nothing from there. So it doesn't push you to do anything. When you watch something educational, you have a couple choices. Either I'm going to stay the same or I'm going to implement what I just heard, and that's the hard part. Most people don't like to be met with that decision. That's why they just gravitate towards entertainment, because it doesn't give them the ultimatum. It's just ha ha ha, and then you move on, you gossip, and there's no something that's pressing you to do the right thing. But when you get education and you hear somebody telling you maybe the answer to the problem that you have, or you hear somebody telling you the voice that you've been wanting to hear, and you hear it, now you're stuck with the ultimatum. Man, I need to go do what I do, or I fail myself and stay the same. All right, so this is why it's hard to listen to information like this, but you're here doing it because you are cut different. You are an EL2A member, and you want what's best for yourself. So continue to own your greatness, continue to be great. We're going to continue putting out these podcast episodes, and we're going to keep going up, man. Hey, Dr. Umar, I know you hear me. Killer Mike, I know you hear me. All the other people we said, I know you hear me. So, hey, year 2, we going to see y'all soon, all right? Hey, we appreciate everybody watching. We'll see y'all next time. 1, 2, 3.
They
All
only
right,
make
hey, let's go. Hey, but listen, I ain't say they need to like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment. Year 2! Yeah.